Northwoods of Michigan's Upper Peninsula. I'm Natasha, and this is Plant-Centered Living. Today's video is going to be a follow-up to the apple cider making video that I did back in the fall. I got such a great response from that one. You all seem to really enjoy it, and I thought you might like the opportunity to see where those apples are now. In addition, I spoke about food preservation for the winter, so I thought this would be a great time to show you some photos of some of the stored food that I have and my family has in their freezer and root cellar. So I have only a small upright, well, it's a refrigerator with a freezer on top, so I don't have much storage capacity for freezing at my cabin. But next door at my folks' house, they have both a root cellar and two large chest freezers. So between my place and theirs, we do share that food that we put away for the winter. Before I get started, I want to show you something I'm very excited about. Back up here, you can see this popcorn pumper. I just got it at a thrift store last weekend with my friend Tina, and I'm very excited about it because I love popcorn. For those of you who know me, I really like popcorn. And I, of course, don't cook with additional oil or try not to. And so having that air popper for popcorn is a real blessing. I've been looking for one for a long time, and I wanted to be able to get it secondhand, and this one doesn't even look like it's been used. So I'm really excited to try that out. But that's an aside. So today I'm going to start with a couple of different things. We're going to talk about where those apples are now, and that is they were frozen into apple slices that I am now using for my smoothies. My mom uses them to make apple desserts. They can be used in any number of ways. Additionally, that cider that we made, we froze it, and it is now in the deep chest freezer at my folks' house. But my friend Mary Jane brought me two apple products that I didn't even know existed. I don't even know if they exist out there beyond her making them. I think the boiled cider does, but maybe not the apple sugar. So I want to show these to you real quickly. Really great things. So this right here is boiled cider. And the idea is you make it very similarly to maple syrup, where when you collect the sweet water from the trees for maple syrup, you boil that down until you get the liquid that turns into maple syrup. Well, with cider, you do something very similar in that you take the cider and you boil it down and boil it down and boil it down until you get a syrup consistency. So my friend Mary Jane came over to my place and brought me this and said, Natasha, you're going to love it. And she was not wrong. I do love it. And the idea is she encouraged me to take a tablespoon of it and put it in hot water and drink it as a hot beverage. It is fantastic. So anytime that you might be craving that hot drink, it is not too sweet. It's definitely not too tart. It's just right. So I am, you can't see this probably, but well, maybe you can. It is almost gone. There's probably maybe 1 tablespoon left in here. So big thanks to Mary Jane for this. Additionally, Mary Jane also brought me this. Now I'll see if I can open it. I don't know if you can see that, but it's grainy. And what this is she took what we call the apple squeezins, the end pieces. Basically what happens once they go through the crusher and they're pressed, you have all of those apple leftovers that we take and we compost them in the woods, or the animals eat them basically. But what she does is she takes those and she dries that, and then she grinds it up, and it turns into this apple sugar. And so it doesn't act exactly like sugar would, but it does, in fact, impart not only a slight apple flavor, but also some sweetness if you are to use it in applications like baking. But I'm just so grateful for Mary Jane for following up with me and bringing me these two great products that I had no idea about. And I'm pretty sure I think that she invented this apple sugar. So what a neat thing. And I wanted to share that with you. Now, also, Mary Jane asked me last week when she saw the video of my cabin, she said, "What are those sticks on the counter?" Well, I want to show you what those sticks on the counter were, because some of you may not know either. This right here is something that I absolutely adore. I rave about it to my friends. My dad made it. It just has a base, and you can see here that these sticks, they just kind of come out at random, and you can move them around. It's a bag drying rack. So for those of us who reuse our Ziploc bags, this is an excellent way to dry them, and I'll show you how it works. I hope that you can see back here on the counter. But this is a quart bag, and you can just stick it on here. You can use just one. If it's a larger Ziploc bag, you can put it over 2 or even 3 if it will stretch that far. But the idea is then they're open at the bottom and the air can get to them. I would say within a couple of hours, they're normally dry. So this is a great thing that my dad made for me, and I sincerely appreciate it. So those are some things that I thought you would all be interested in, and just something neat to think about and talk about. So after me here, there are going to be some pictures of my folks' root cellar. And in there are beets and carrots, both of which are stored in moist sawdust. So you'll see them. Once you brush them off, wash them off, they are absolutely good to go. There are cranberries in the root cellar. Those were locally harvested by friends of ours, and those are in there in Ziploc bags. You'll also see some winter squash sitting on the shelf, and behind that winter squash, there are 2 quart jars, and you're going to look at that and think, what are those? Well, that is fire cider. My mom makes fire cider. It's kind of a health tonic, so to speak. It has a lot of stuff in there. Apple cider vinegar and garlic and I think horseradish and a variety of things. It is extremely strong. And she and my dad drink that every day as a preventative for all those things that, all those bugs out there that you might catch. So that is also in the root cellar. And then I show a picture of the potatoes and the onions that we store in there as well. They're stored with wire mesh directly on the shelves, and it works really well. So I hope that you enjoy those pictures. I appreciate your time. I look forward to talking with all of you next week. Take care.